My name is Leticia Solis, and I graduated in 1990 with an electrical engineering degree and earned my bachelor's here at UCLA. I knew at the age of 14 that I wanted to be an engineer. And just to tell you a little story, my oldest sister was the first one to go to college, and she saw in me that I loved math and science. And at 14, didn't really know. You knew the traditional roles of, doctor, nurse, but not anything really more than that. And she was involved in a college program at a local university in Southern California. And so she had invited me to go with her to an event. And it was sponsored through the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. And it was a typical networking event where you had different corporations coming to recruit students and full-time employees. And they had a series of lectures. So when I went, I decided, well, how do I find out about engineering? What is that? So I went to each of the career booths and just started asking questions of different corporations. What is an engineer? What do you do? Then I had an opportunity to meet with students, say, what are you majoring in? What is it like? And of course, at the end of it, I knew I wanted to be an engineer. Specifically in electrical engineering, it's about how do I give back to society, right? Not only to my community and making sure that I'm working for a company that I feel that is giving back products and services or something that is useful and can help really progress our society and technology. I really think that having an engineering degree, in particular electrical engineering, you need to understand process and how things work. And, starting out, working in my first job, I was, an electrical engineer at a power plant, did the generation, did the transmission side, worked as a field engineer. From there, I moved into telecommunications, and where I started out at General Telephone Electric back here in California. And that's where I find, and I've been with, now the company's been turned over to Verizon, then now Frontier, and I've been with them for a total of 20 years. One of the favorite memories, or one of the things that I appreciate, is the year that I lived in the dorms, because that was a year that I made a lot of friendships. And I know friendships can come and go, but I still have deep friendships with folks that I've known since my first year in college in 1985. And we're still friends today, and we travel. And to me, that's powerful. And another, and this is where I met my husband. We started out in living in the same dorm, and so that's a great memory for me. Also, because of the things that I learned through that program, it was so important to me to make sure that I always gave back. So as you move forward, you need to make sure that you're putting your hand out to bring other people along with you to help develop that feeder pool. And I think what's also important is being a woman in a technical field. When I was going to school, I was oftentimes the only woman in class. And I don't know if that's changed much. So we need to make sure that we're conscientious of that and making sure that we're moving people along and introducing them, like I was at 14, that, yeah, you can go into a technical field. And yes, you can be an electrical engineer. It is possible. It's being able to think strategically, being able to be tactical when you need to, but then not just thinking you're the only one that can solve the problem. And I think sometimes when folks go into engineering or into a technical field, they tend to think, oh, I'm just going to be a cubicle and that's it. But that's not going to be a successful engineer or individual. You need to be able to work collaboratively. And I really believe that the courses that I had here at UCLA really gave you that ability on working on projects, to be able to work together and solve an issue. I also think it really reinforced for me, especially a woman in technology and majored in electrical engineering, was how important it was to give back to my community and being able to share my experiences on campus, that it's possible for young girls, young women to go to UCLA and be successful, and also be able to make sure that, they too can be an engineer. Giving advice to high school students, I think what's important is, believe in yourself and believe in your dreams. If there's anyone that says, no, you can't do it, then you just prove to them that you can. And just stay focused. You've got to be a sponge. You've got to ask questions. You can't solve things on your own. And I think that's so important, especially when you come to a university. It can be overwhelming, and it's so easy to get lost. But if you find those support groups, those commonalities with other students that can help you, that support group is so very important, whether it's in study groups or whether it's in outside organizations to help relieve some of the stress from studying. All of that is so important to be a successful college student.